I am so excited to have Christina Chambers here with me today. She is an adaptive personal trainer. She's my personal trainer, and she's fabulous. So, to get started, Christina, how about you just tell us a little bit more about yourself, like where you're based and what your disability is?
Okay. Hi, I'm Christina Chambers. Like Teal said, I am based out of Phoenix, Arizona, but I run my business virtually and I do a lot of virtual personal training. A lot of my clients are not, actually, all of them, not a single one lives in Arizona. So that's kind of fun. I love how the virtual world, can connect us. I have a T3 spinal cord injury, incomplete, that was caused by transverse myelitis, which is a rare autoimmune disease that, your immune system attacks your spinal cord, causing paralysis or a spinal cord injury. So that's my story.
Yeah, so you just mentioned that all of your classes are virtual,
Yes.
which I, of course, love because that allows me to train with you. Even though you're in Arizona and I'm up here in Seattle, we can connect online, and I leave our sessions feeling both physically and mentally like so much better. So tell us how the whole virtual workout classes came to be.
So, I guess not to get into my journey too much just now with my health and fitness journey, but when COVID hit, I realized that like my community was really struggling at home. A lot of us are in the high risk population, and during the pandemic, I knew that people were struggling to stay active and stay mentally and physically happy and healthy. So I kind of just started teaching free classes, and I was like, anyone can join, come join this Zoom. And from those classes, someone asked me to be their trainer, and that's it. Kind of the business just kind of started after, like, on accident, and it was the most beautiful accident and probably the best thing that I got out of COVID for sure.
Yeah, and I remember you telling me that you were telling your people like you can work out with anything around your house, and you guys were working out with cans of food and whatnot. And that's one of the things that I love about you is your kind of approach to fitness and working out is it doesn't have to be expensive. So can you just talk a little bit about that and
Yeah.
maybe also share if you have any tips on if there are like just like a piece of equipment or two that you recommend that you could have around your house that's not that expensive that could help. Yeah.
Yeah. So like I said, it all started during COVID and everyone was buying workout equipment at home. So a lot of things were sold out. And I was like, you know what? F that. It doesn't need to be expensive. No one needs to buy anything. And so we were just, we had like jars of peanut butter and we're just lifting them and pushing them above our body and across our body. You can also do things that you don't have to have weights or anything, literally anything around your house. I posted this workout where I put books inside of a backpack and I used it as like a weighted ball and did like Russian twists and all of those things. But now that the supply of like workout equipment is back up and out, you can actually go to the dollar store, the dollar section of Target, Amazon, if you're into Amazon. There are so many cheap ways to get exercise equipment and not break the bank, but also, just get healthy and stronger.
Great. And for all of you guys that are watching live, I just want to invite you, if you have any questions, comments, put them below in the comments section, and we will try to get to those.
Yeah, I'd love to share my story of like why I started working out because
Yes.
I think it's so important for people with disabilities to hear this story. Um, so when I got my disability, I was 12 years old and I was becoming a young woman. No one talked to me about exercise besides physical therapy. No one talked to me about my diet except for fiber. That's all we get when we're, first in our wheelchair or first get our disability. And they basically just sent me off saying, you're going to gain weight and that's that. And when I turned about 18, you know, when you're starting to date and like become the woman and the person that you're supposed to be, I started obsessing over my weight and struggled with like body dysmorphia, and also struggled with restricting my food intake. So I did struggle with an eating disorder. And it was this crucial time in like college where I was like starving myself and like exercising, you know, too much and not doing the right things for my body. And I really had to take a step back then. I was posting like workout videos and stuff, but I had to take a step back and really focus on my mental health so that I knew the right mindset to be in to be physically healthy and to exercise again. So I know how hard it is to accept your body that you're in as you're transitioning into being a beautiful disabled human being. And that's kind of why I love being a trainer, because like Teal said, my biggest thing is like your mental health comes first, and working out does help your mental health, but it can also hurt it.
Yeah. Thank you. We just got a comment, so I was reading that.
Oh,
Christina's great. Love having people like her raising awareness and being a voice. Your clients include both paras and quads, different disabilities, and I'd like to talk a little bit about adapting to, we all have like different injury levels and our own unique bodies. And what I love is like, I've been in classes with you before and you'll show us an exercise. And I just want to share that you teach like cardio, weightlifting, you do stretching, meditation, and you will show an exercise and then show it a couple different ways. You'll show you could do it this way, or if you want to adapt it to this way, and then I'll see you watching some of the people in your class, and you'll maybe make a change. So if you just talked a little bit about, you know, us about adapting exercises to our bodies and just being in touch with our bodies and listening to what feels good and what doesn't.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I used to teach classes at this accessible, adapted gym here in Phoenix. And the biggest thing I took away from that is no body is the same. And when someone enters a class, they should feel welcome and like they have something to do while they're in the class. So I always try to give 3 different variations for each exercise, and then I always make sure to pay attention to see if someone's struggling or their form is a little off, because I rather have you moving in a healthy way than doing something that isn't really possible or could injure you even more. So that's kind of how I go about it. My classes are a lot of fun, and I love coming up with new adaptations and variations. So if anyone has any questions of like how to work a certain muscle and they have a certain injury level, I would love to answer those questions.
In addition to being a personal trainer, you also co-host this awesome podcast that I love. Can you tell everybody like about it that may not have listened to it?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna cuss really quick because
No, I can say you can cuss.
Okay, it's in the title of the name, and the podcast is called Sit the Fuck Down Podcast. I started it with my best friend, Liv Bender, who's also in a wheelchair, who also has transverse myelitis. And we started this podcast because we realized that we had a lot of girl talk, or like disabled girl talk, and we were hoping that, you know, other women could feel seen and heard by our conversations, because we know how hard it is to find, you know, disabled women or friends that really connect with you. And the podcast isn't just for women. You know, we have a lot of men listeners or boy listeners, and we just really dig deep into the hard conversations and the hard topics. We're not shying away from anything. We're not afraid to be vulnerable, and we're hoping that you feel validated in wherever you are in your disability and in your life.
Yeah, you just released a new episode, I think a day or two ago, which I listened to yesterday. It's so great. You guys are just so real and raw and authentic, and it's great. And yeah, I recommend everybody listen to it. Where can you find it for people who?
So you can find our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.
Great.
And we're trying to bring it to YouTube to make it more accessible to our listeners. But it's, we're starting it ourselves. And so we're figuring all that stuff out. But soon, YouTube will be available.
Awesome. Rebecca wants to know how they can sign up for classes if you want to, do a class with you, workout class.
Yeah, so Rebecca, go ahead and follow me, and then there is a link in my personal bio, and then there's like a button, and you just press train with me, and there's all the classes you can sign up for, and personal training or anything else you want. And some of the classes are free, some of them cost $3, which is like the cheapest workout class you could ever take, but for sure, sign up. I also have a free cardio class that's going to be in an hour today. So if you want to sign up for that cardio class, it starts in 1 hour.
And then I know when you take on like personal training clients, you also offer a free kind of like 15-minute consultation, which is really great. So you get to know the person and they get to know you, and you see if you're a good fit, and you see what their goals are. And so I think that's also really a wonderful thing that you do too. So I would love for you to show us some kind of an exercise, and I thought a breathing exercise would be good because I think obviously we all need breathing keeps us alive, and I think we forget about it. We forget about how important it is. I know I use it a lot, like if I'm feeling anxious or if I'm laying in bed at night and I can't fall asleep and I need to shut my brain off. So I would love for you to talk a little bit about the importance of breath and maybe just show us like a little breathing exercise we can all do.
Okay, so a lot of people don't know that your diaphragm is a part of your core. And so for some of us with higher T levels or C level injuries, or we have some sort of disability where we have paralysis in our core or limited sensation, our diaphragm is a part of that core. And so simply by breathing, a lot of us wheelchair users, and just honestly, most people are chest breathers. But you really want to be breathing from your belly. And a good way to do this, if you're able to, we're going to just place our hands on our stomach, if you're able to, or maybe a part of your arm. And really what you're feeling for is the rise and fall of your belly. Really concentrating and thinking of that stomach rising when you breathe in and compressing in when you breathe out. So we can take a few breaths right now. We're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth, having those hands on our belly if we're able to, really concentrating on extending that belly and compressing it in. All right, so we can go ahead and start breathing, taking a deep breath in, hold, and out through the mouth. We're going to do this 5 times, all right? In through your nose and out. In through your nose, raising that belly, holding, and out through the mouth. Last 2, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. So that's a little exercise that you can just do when you're sitting at your desk, or someone's stressing you out, or you need to fall asleep. Really concentrate on that belly and breathing in and out. And that is definitely working your core.
We have a question from T Hall 313. What are best ways to work abs and sides when you have little to no leg muscle control for crunches, etc.?
Okay, so I'm sitting in my wheelchair right now. You just can't really see it from this angle, but I do like side reaches for the side of my core, bending down, touching that hub, or if you're just in, a dining chair, then you can just lean down. When this feels comfortable, or if it's too easy, grab a weight and dip down and dip forward. Another good rule of, sorry, my dog. Another good rule of thumb is like anytime you move a weight or your arms away from your body, you're engaging your core. So if you have weights and you just hold it out, that's how I adapt planks. I just hold a weight out in front of me and balance, and that's just kind of how I work my core. You can also do like wood chops with no weight. So you tap that wheel, come up and across that body. The faster you go and the lower you go, then the more core you're going to be working.
Great. What are your thoughts on adaptive yoga from Willie One Locks?
Sorry, my dog's going to drink some water or something
You're
right
good.
now.
All good.
So adaptive yoga, I think, is amazing. I do, as a part of my stretch with my clients and in my classes, I do the cat cow pose adapted and seated in our wheelchairs. And it's really about pulling and arching that back and extending it. I've personally never been to an adapted yoga class, but I think they're amazing. I know adapted yoga instructors. Definitely a huge fan of yoga.
Let's see. If anybody else has any more questions, put them on there. Christina, is there anything else you want to share with everybody? Is there anything else that?
No, I think that's pretty much me in a nutshell, and like
Yeah.
adapted fitness from my world. I guess the best advice I could give to somebody who's just starting to work out and they've never done it before outside of physical therapy is to just be more intentional about moving your body. So maybe start with stretching. And if stretching annoys you and it's too much like physical therapy, then take a push outside. Just try to find new and creative ways to move your body, and just you can start small. You can just start at home in your living room with resistance bands. That's where I started, and then I slowly got the courage to go into a gym. So it doesn't need to be this grand change where you're just lifting 20-pound dumbbells over your head. Start small and listen to your body and what it's telling you.
Great. All righty. There's everybody in the comments is saying thank you. So yes, thank you, Christina, so much for all of this great info. You are doing such amazing things, and I've really it's made a big difference in my life working out with you and doing classes with you. So appreciate you so much.
I call Teal Wonder Woman because she's literally the strongest, toughest warrior. And I only call you that, not all my other clients. I'm like, let's go, woman, because I don't know if all of you know this, but she's a mom, she's a badass, and yeah, huge fan of you, Teal. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And thank you all for joining us, and be well. Bye, everybody.